Hey, this is Doug, your realtor here in Utah. Uh, Meeting a client here at the property, and just kind of wanted to walk through a little bit of, what this is. So, this is a uh, house built in 1891. It was a two bedroom and one bath. And a lot of people, look at stuff and they're like, "Wow, man, I could flip that. I could flip it easy." Well, let's, take a look at the outside here, and let's, look at some of the things that are showing. So, I'm gonna flip the camera around here. So, as you look, the first thing you're gonna see is the window on the right there, the front window above the porch. It's kind of tipped, and what that but you can also see the belly of the roof. It kind of has a belly in it. So those are a couple of things to look at, because that may mean that the foundation has sunk, over the 140 years that it's been around. But you look at the other window, looks nice and straight, has a very beautiful stained glass above it, which is really nice. So some of those types of things. Some of the other things you want to look at is, it's got a hip roof to it up top. And then you start looking at the lot and what you can do. So now let's go inside. So again, I get asked all the time about flipping a house, and it really comes down to your knowledge, what you know, and your abilities, and to whom you know. So, like, let's look right here. So we have a a nice straight window that's been framed crooked. That's going to be a problem, especially when you come to fix it and finish it up on the inside. There's things like the flooring. You got to go down to the foundation and see what's down there. Do you need extra bracing? What do you need? And then in these old homes, you've got to redo all of your plumbing. And in a lot of them, these homes, you can see behind here that there is multiple layers of brick and things like that, as far as what makes up the property. And even in like this wall here, you can see the wall is made up of brick, concrete kind of stuff. So there's a couple of things to look at on the inside here too. A lot of times people think that when they flip, we'll just add in a room, we'll add in stuff, and all of that works, again, based on what you know and how you're going to do things. In this certain house, they've added in a bathroom, they've added in a walk-in closet, and all of that's great, but the plumbing's got to be done underneath. And the plumbing, as you can see from this piece here, this is brick, and so that plumbing has got to go through the foundation and tie back into the plumbing of the house. In the older homes, typically you don't have like the standard bathrooms and open concepts and those types of things that a lot of people are used to. And so in the older homes, they always took something, and, they took what they needed and built onto it from there. It's like we had a front room and a kitchen and a bathroom and a couple of bedrooms. We're good. And then it's like, well, we need a laundry room. The laundry's on the porch, so let's just cover the porch and we'll make all that work. So, again, flipping a house is not just real quick and clean. It really, there's a lot to it. You've got to know what's there and be able to see. And the customer and client I've got knows how to do that. But it is something that, you have to be proficient in. And then, you've got to be able to know what you're going to keep. Are you going to keep the current wallpaper, or are you going to keep the front room wallpaper? You know, what are you going to keep? What are you going to use for the house? What are you going to keep as accents? You know, are you going to be able to, that's the other front window. And if you look at that front window is crooked. And we looked at it from the outside, and it was, you know, remember we talked about how it looked like it had dropped a little bit. Well, it looks like that from the inside too. Anyway, and then structurally you've got your rafters. So there's a lot of things to look at as we go through this, and it's not just throw slap some paint on it and some carpet and you're done. A lot of times you get in and there's a lot more to it than just paint and carpet, and a lot, even to a degree like something like this, where you've got to go between the exterior, you know, rock or brick foundation to make room for your wires and those types of things. Or do you frame in? So this particular one, they've chosen to frame, but by framing, you lose square footage because, you know, you've got a frame inside. But it does give you the ability to insulate and a few things that way. So anyway, just some real quick thoughts as far as, flipping and not flipping quite as well as we should sometimes. When you're flipping, you know, especially on older properties like this, you've got to be able to add in air conditioning. This particular one, you can see it has posts in the back where they had a carport at one point, but there is no garage. So adding a garage back in would be a good thing. When they added that extra bedroom, they had to add on a whole new foundation. So on one side you've got a rock foundation, and on the other side you've got concrete. Well, how do they tie in? Is that going to be a solid connection? Is this concrete going to sink? We know this has been here for 100 plus years. So anyway, lots to look at. And again, not real easy. And the biggest question is, you know, how do you keep the charm of the house, like the arch? How do you keep the charm of the house and bring in the modern to it so that it looks good and that everything functions?